This is why you check to see if you muted your mic before you record a 30-minute video, because that video I actually thought I did really well. I didn't say a lot or like, and turns out I was muted the entire time. So fantastic. Anyways, retread of what I'm gonna say. Probably gonna say probably gonna say like. Point is, Sony. I'm gonna talk about the Bungie, Sony buying Bungie, recent TWAB, and then just some overall shit. Another just random me just talking. Contrary to popular belief, I don't just talk and upload a video. I listen back to it. If I don't like it, I don't upload it, like the TWAB reaction, or just I'm just lazy sometimes. But the point is, I don't upload everything that I say. So this is not an exception, or this is an exception. I will upload this. Point is, Bungie bought or Bungie, Sony bought exclusivity air quotes to Sony bought out Bungie. That's what they're saying. Essentially, Sony owns Bungie. Although there's stipulations with that, which I'll get into later. For I think 3.8 billion. Some people are kind of laughing because the entire thing is Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, all these other games that have multiple IPs, while Bungie just really just has Destiny and maybe Matter. But right now they're just like one game studio. Um, so people are like, well, they could have bought Sega for 3.8 and gotten a ton of titles. They could have got one up a billion more and bought, Capcom and had all the fighting games and Mega Man stuff like that. So whether or not Sony made a dumb decision, not really. Who cares? More importantly, it's like, how does this affect the game? They've said that Bungie will still have they will still have creative freedom from over all their projects, right? So from Witch Queen to Final Shape, that's going to be unchanged. There's not going to be any like crazy changes. Hopefully, that's what they said. Going past that, unclear. So the pros of this is that bigger studio means more people work on the game, more content. For instance, Forsaken, one of my favorite expansions of all time. Great, I think that's like the gold standard of any expansion. Great game, or great expansion, right? I don't think anyone's gonna deny Forsaken was great. When Bungie was working underneath Activision, they had High Moon and Vicarious Visions, and that's what made Forsaken great because they had extra manpower and multiple studios working for them. And funnily enough, some of my favorite content that came from Forsaken, or not even my favorite content, sorry, some of my pre-Forsaken, Whisper, Zero Hour came during Forsaken, but Whisper Mission that was made by I believe either High Moon or Vicarious. Uh, 0 Hour was made by High Moon Vicarious. So having other studios or having more manpower definitely helps out Bungie because we've seen what happens when they're on their own for the most part. Because I'm gonna be brutally honest, Bungie's solo record right now has been pretty bad. Again, the Vidoc for Shadowkeep, where they're talking hella shit, saying well, Activision. They didn't outright say it, but they were alluding that Activision's the reason why Destiny was so ass for the last like 5 years. And then we released Shadowkeep. There's nothing, just wasted repetitive grind and nothing. Shadowkeep was a dud. Beyond Light was still a dud. What Beyond Light was carried by Stasis. If Stasis wasn't a thing, then Beyond Light would have been 100% a dud. And Stasis completely fucked the balance of the game too. Um, and then Witch Queen is for me the final test, right? To see can Bungie actually make shit. No more excuses. So there's that. Cons of this is that people are worried about PlayStation exclusivity. If you don't remember, in Destiny 1, PlayStation had actually an exclusive, like a right or exclusivity to Destiny, or content exclusivity. So, for instance, like if you remember, Call of Duty was like an Xbox thing where they get map packs a month early. Destiny was very similar, but it was like a year. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but when Dark Below came out, Fourth Horseman was a PlayStation exclusive exotic. So you had to wait a year to get Fourth Horseman if you played on a different platform. A more recent example, Wave Splitter came out during Forsaken. If you weren't playing on PlayStation, you had to wait a year to get Wave Splitter on PC or Xbox. There was even a glitch that lets you get it on those platforms, but then they even disabled it because the exclusivity thing. Broodhold, which is a strike, was also exclusive for a year. So people are worried about that. Again, my opinion is I don't think exclusivity helps anyone. That blows that you have to wait a year to access content, especially right now with all this content vaulting and crap. Stuff might just not be around a year later, so I don't know. So there's that. I will say though, like let's say Final Shape comes out, right? And then their next expansion. Whatever expansion or whatever they're doing after Final Shape, if it flops, I can't wait for the Vidocs blaming Sony for the reason. I'm just throwing a little shade. But yeah, that's the whole entire debate. Or debate, not debate. The entire thing. Honestly, like I said, nothing probably to worry about. At least, like, again, Witch Queen to Final Shape, they said they're not changing anything. So that's pretty much set in stone. So if you're just gonna stay along, if you're gonna stay along for the ride up until like the next 3 years, you just keep going. TWAB stuff. So, like I said, I don't upload everything I talked about or everything I record. For instance, I had a live reading to the TWAB. It was a lot of dead air, a lot of me going and stuff like that. So just to sum it up, for me personally, that TWAB was dog shit. If you don't know, Duty Bound and Silicon Aroma are coming back into the Nightfall loot pool. Does this mean they're going to undo, or not undo, that they're going to bring back Pyramidion Strike and Savathun's Song? No idea. They just said they're coming back. I'm assuming they're going to be Adept because of Nightfall weapons. So I guess. Like, another issue is Nightfall loot pools. Also currently bloated. It is to the point where each week drops 2 weapons. So is it going to be like a battle royale system where we take out next season Palindrome and Swarm won't be dropping, so the Silicon Aroma and Duty Bound can replace them? Is that what we're doing? I personally prefer a spoil system like we have right now with raids, where when you do an encounter in the raid, you get a spoil at the end of the newer raids, which is Deep Stone Crypt and the Vault of Glass remake. You can just spend your currency on the chest to get multiple rolls of weapons and armor you've already unlocked, or spend on the chest and get a chance to unlock a new item. Maybe just do that for a Nightfall, just add a new currency. I know we have a million useless currencies, but they're already taking out telemetries, they're taking out gunsmith material. Why not, right? Um, so there's that. I'm again, to repeat, I've already said this thing like 13 times, right, in previous recordings. But Portal 2 quote: GLaDOS was mentioning that you're not breathing the same room of air, or no, you are breathing the same room of air. All we do is we take out carbon dioxide, freshen it up a little bit, and put it back in. This is what this game feels like to a T, where they take out content that's been in the game, freshen it up a little bit by adding, I don't know, a perk or whatever, throwing it back in. Um, if I remember correctly, Duty Bound had a really good static roll. It had like Ricochet, Zen, and Rampage. It was one of those like ritual weapons where you had like Zen and then a perk and then Rampage and a perk. I don't remember them, but I know that was my go-to perk selection. Silicon Aroma, I think, could roll Snapshot and something else. I can't remember. Again, personally, I don't care for these weapons. If you like Duty Bound, cool, it's coming back. I'm just tired of seeing the same shit, honestly. Um, they still haven't addressed the issue of sunset weapons or nightfall weapons that are sunset even though the strike is still in the game. For instance, Horror's Lease, Corrupted still exists. Horror's Lease drops is sunset. Um, the Inset Terminus, the Carrigan, the Giant Scion, that strike's still in the game. Long Goodbye, still sunset. I don't understand why that is a thing. Whatever. So that's Nightfall stuff. They also said they're increasing the Vanguard, just reputation across the board. I believe even in trials, I think it's like a 30% boost. Um, the issue with that is that we are lacking core activity content. With exceptions like me, for instance, most people get on this game to play Crucible, Strikes, Gambit. There's people like me who come on to play raids, dungeons, Nightfalls, Lost Sectors, right? You have different types of players, but most people play these core activities. And when Beyond Light came in, we lost a lot, and I mean a lot of content from the core activities, and we have not replaced that content at all. Gambit especially, Gambit got the shortest end of the stick. Just straight up lost crap. No new Gambit map in like 2 years. No nothing. At least we got a new strike. I think we got a Crucible map brought back. I don't even remember. Point is, these core activities need more content. So to remedy that, Bungie's bright idea is to add Battlegrounds into the Vanguard playlist and rename them Vanguard Ops. And if you're wondering, any quest that involves saying you need to do strikes, they're just going to say Vanguard Ops, and Battlegrounds are going to essentially going to count as a strike. Again, Bungie's wording is very funny. They mentioned that they're going to add 4 new Battlegrounds into the strike playlist. And they said it's Hailstone, Oracle, and whatever. If you're not catching what I'm, letting on, is that they're not new. Hailstone already exists. They're just going to take this node in the directory, put it into the playlist, and just remove the champions, and that's it. Um, like I said, I've never met anyone who said let's do a battleground unless it was outside of the seasonal activity to get like the hammer charges or to do a triumph. I've heard more people say let's do Gambit than let's do battlegrounds. I don't even like playing battlegrounds. It sucks. I don't think a lot of people like playing with battlegrounds. I could be wrong though. I could be in the minority. Point is, I think Bungie realized that there's a lack of content in the strikes, and they're probably not going to be adding like 10 strikes on Witch Queen, right? Maybe one or two. So this is going to supplement that playlist, I guess, but that's just like no. Like at this point, I've already made the thing about the carbon dioxide thing, but dude, at this point, just add back all the sunset strikes. Like we need more strikes. We need more stuff in the core activities because that's what we're gonna do. What made Beyond Light so annoying, not just the fact the light level jumped up 50 levels every time, right? Is that you had to go back into the core activities to get some blues. And when sunsetting hit, and there's only like 7 strikes, I got tired of seeing the same strikes over and over again, right? It gets fatiguing. Same with Crucibles. No one wants to keep playing on dead cliffs, like map fatigue, stuff like that. They need to add more content to these core activities, and they really haven't said anything outside just adding battlegrounds to Vanguard. And they said they're going to make one new map, a Europa map, I believe, for Crucible, and then one reprise map or remake of a Destiny 1 map. Speaking of light level, another thing that or I'll talk about blues and light levels in the same. The TWAB before this one was addressing blues, and they said that again in Destiny 1, after a certain point, blues were just dismantled automatically. Whether that was a glitch or a feature, it just you didn't have blues; they didn't exist, right? Destiny 2, we've all experienced it. We've all had stuff lost to the postmaster because of blues. We all hate blues. It is we all understand blues drop like candy. So again, another easy win was just maybe make blues not exist, or after a certain point they stop dropping. Bungie's solution is that after you pass the stop cap, blues are less likely to drop. A change immediately, though, is at the end of playlist activities, the core playlist, Crucible, Vanguard, Strikes, they will no longer drop. So you won't get 3 blues from Crucible match. That's actually a nerf for leveling, uh, because when you play a big expansion, you want to get as many blues as possible to keep increasing your light. The easiest way to do that was again core activities because they just rained blues. That's gonna be again a monkey paw, I guess, or kind of ironic. Now that we need blues, there's gonna be less of them. I didn't upload this, but I did go through the Shadow Throne, just running through with some sunset gear and crap. And I was stuck on Vorgith for about like let's say 15, 30 minutes, and I had a pile of blues on the floor. That's not going to change in Witch Queen, or if it is, that pile of blues might be like maybe one or two. Like they are Bungie has a habit of not being very clear with what they mean. Like for instance, you'll have bounty to say 1% instead of out of 100 or out of a total. You'll have the law sector say this is a common drop instead of a common. They say common or rare, but they don't give you percentage, right? They do not. They are very vague with their words, and it makes it really frustrating. So that's blues. Now light level. We all know why light level exists. I don't think anyone likes light level. It is an artificial grind. It makes the game not enjoyable to play. No one likes light level. Bungie admits that, or they changed during this season, Beyond Light, that we realize that it sucks ass to have to level up 50 light levels every season. Because pre Beyond Light, every season was a 50 level jump. So you had to put everything away and get all your blues and pinnacles on. And it was just, I stopped playing during that time because it was just annoying. I did not want to do that every 3 months. There are compromises that every 3 months or every season, only 10, right? So last season, I only had to grind up 10 light levels to be at pinnacle, right? Great change. Um, they're not taking this approach with Witch Queen. Soft cap is going to be 1350. No, sorry. Baseline is 1350. Soft cap's 1500. Pinnacle is 1550, I believe. Obvious issue. Huge jump in light level, so I'm getting Beyond Light flashbacks where the first mission you can play just fine, but the second mission is going to be a 50 level jump or just an increased jump where the enemies just start obliterating you and you have to go back to the core activities or do something else outside of just playing the missions, just playing the story so you can actually have a fair chance. But Beyond Light, I just brute forced it because I could not stand doing that stuff. I was sick of doing strikes and it was a horrible experience. But anyways, again, My solution was okay. Well, the reason behind the whole entire raising everything up is that obviously, you have people that are returning to Destiny 2 that haven't played in a while. People are just buying the game for the first time, so you don't want them to be like 1100 and they can't access the campaign at 1350. I'm not one of those people like, oh, you should have been here grinding. So you if you're not 1350, fuck you, no, who cares? Whatever, just play the game, right? Play all you want to play. Um, but the point is, they could have kept 1350, right? And then just make Pinnacle like 13 if you really wanted to, if you really want to stretch it out, 1350 base, 1360 soft, Pinnacle is 1370, right? So 20 level increase. I personally would have just preferred 1350, 1360, like a 10, like just do Pinnacles only. But you got to do those relevant activities somehow, right? Um, but yeah, that's my one of my biggest worries. It got confirmed on that one, so I was not happy. Another change that was mentioned in previous TWAB was masterworking stuff. Or actually, before I talk about masterwork, the previous TWAB, the one that came out last Thursday, Lost Sectors, right? Since I'm hovering over this. Right now, we have two. The way it works now is you have two Lost Sectors. You have a Legend version and a Master version. 12 p.m. reset time for me, which is because I'm Eastern Standard Time. The Legend will become the Master. The Master will disappear, right? It will just this Legend will become. There will be a new Lost Sector that becomes a Legend one, and the old Legend one will become Master, right? So you have two Lost Sector nodes. Bungie again, I love how they phrase a nerf as a overall change, right? Monkey paw. They said starting in Witch Queen, you can now change the difficulty of the Lost Sector when you're in front of the like actual Lost Sector, right? You can open up a menu and change it. The monkey paw is that there's only going to be one now, which is an overall nerf, and I'll explain it to you like this. Right now, I can farm chests and I can farm arms. With Witch Queen, I can like let's say it's Witch Queen, and this will be the only lost sector today. So I'm only gonna be able to farm chests. So whenever they release those new exotics, like you have to get on. You're gonna have to get on at the time, or else the next day it's gone, right? Which is my next point. Some lost sectors are easier than others. Quick example: Dreaming City. This on my Titan, Apollyon's or whatever the hell, whatever's rest. That takes me a minute 30 on my Titan. On Legend, on Master, it takes me 2 minutes. I like to farm this Lost Sector, right? With the old system, let's say it's 12 p.m. reset, right? And this is the new Legend Lost Sector. Life comes in the way, whatever. I'm not playing Destiny today. Tomorrow, I have another day to do that Lost Sector, but on Master. With the new system, if I don't play it that day, it's gone, and I have to wait however long because I don't know if they're like, for instance, they took out the Cosmodrome Lost Sectors now. I don't know what the rotation is going to be next season, but the point is, it might take like maybe a week or at least a couple days to get back to that Lost Sector that you want to farm. So that's really punishing. That's a nerf. That is a straight up nerf to Lost Sector farming. Not happy as someone who farms Lost Sectors and does so that was a terrible change. Masterwork stuff, right? Right now, when you masterwork a weapon, you get double kills, they generate orbs, you also get a little stat bump and kill trackers, right? The most reason I'm having it, dude, it's like 12 o'clock right now. I'm not awake. Most people masterwork weapons to generate orbs because you have mods that benefit off orbs. Charge of Light mods, taking charge. Absolution. There's many mods that benefit off of orbs. And even without any of those mods, when you pick up an orb, you just get bonus super energy, right? Very cool. Orbs are very essential, right? Witch Queen, masterworking will no longer determine whether you can generate orbs. So, obvious good and bad, right? The good thing is, for instance, let's see if so I don't have the Fourth Horseman Catalyst. It is coming back, but right now, with the change, right, or let's say Cloud Strike, right, because it's not going to have a Catalyst next season or next expansion. Cloud Strike does not have a Catalyst, so if I get a double kill, I cannot make orbs with it. My Trinity Ghoul can. Next season, I can make orbs with Cloud Strike and Trinity Ghoul. It doesn't matter what's masterworked, right? Overall good change, right? Monkey Paw. The Orb Generation will now be tied to a mod on your helmet. And that mod has to match your elemental affinity to generate orbs. So for instance, I have a Void Nighthawk. If I want to generate orbs, I can only put in a mod that'll let me generate probably Void and Kinetic. I'm pretty sure Kinetic's going to be a neutral mod, but let's say like right now I have a Kinetic an arc, and a solar. I can only use one of those orb generating mods on this helmet because my other two do not match the elemental affinity. That is awful. That is terrible. That's a terrible change. Another thing too, ammo finders. This helmet mods are already crowded, right? You have perks like Dynamo, hands-on, stuff like that. The obvious choice for PvE are ammo finders. The obvious choice for PvP are targeters. So this is already crowded, right? So adding another mod to this, I'm not going to choose orbs over ammo. That's the choice I'm going to have to make. Many people are saying, why don't you just put them on Ghost? Because the mods like these are going to expire at the end of Season 15, which is this season. Don't know. I think it's more of a just to nerf the player's power like they did in Season of the Opulence, where they, nerfed the Whisper, Orpheus Rick, the super regenerating exotic, stuff like that. That was warranted because that was weird, crazy shit back then. But this one, not so much. It's kind of annoying. So there's that, right? Another change that I just... Ah, so they're framing this with the idea that there's going to be something else that you can do with weapons that will be better than making orbs, right? And again, typical Bungie fashion, instead of giving you the full story, they're going to give you the bad news first, and then wait like 3 months until they give you the good news or whatever, and then you can decide whether it's good or bad. Many people are speculating because weapon crafting's coming in Witch Queen that there will be a new way, a new option for weapons. If you didn't know, there is a limit. Like they've described that the engine has limits, right? For instance, the reason why I can't equip two exotics is for obvious balance reasons. But let's say for one day they just let you equip whatever you want. The game can't handle having too many perks at once. You've noticed this if you play the game. If you have a lot of buffs on your screen, certain buffs won't show up because you can only have like a max of 4. Same concept, right? You can't just put too much because it's gonna overload the system, all this other crap. Same thing with weapons. Apparently, having a masterwork, so like having a masterwork, having a barrel and stuff like this takes a lot of like space or something. So removing a masterwork might free up some space or removing the orb generation from a weapon might free up some space for something. No one knows what it is. There you go. So that's like the overall change. Again, I'm not a fan of it. Um, Got it. It's so weird because I've already talked about this and now I don't even know what the hell like how to continue. Just general grievances, right? Because again, I keep saying Witch Queen's like this. I'm really hesitant in buying Witch Queen, but just like overall, this game's starting to suck for me. Let's just talk about just general stuff. Good change, right? Artifact. Next season, you can unlock all artifact mods. Right now, you have to reset your artifact and you do whatever. Next season, you can unlock all this stuff. Great change, right? The issue I have with the artifact, and I think the issue that everyone has, is that Bungie wants you to play a certain way. Champions were introduced to enforce that, right? We pre-Forsaken Era, we had double primaries, right? You could only have like an SMG and a hand cannon. You couldn't have a shotgun and a hand cannon. Forsaken Era, you could run 3 shotguns, whatever, right? Funnily enough, when you do Nightfalls, most people find themselves going back to double primary, right? Because champions are just a pain in the ass. Not everyone. If you're doing solo, yes. If you're in a team, you don't have to. But champion mods, right? I'm not gonna get into like how champions are just shitty gimmicks or whatever. But just in general, I don't think anyone likes being told. Because again, I'm a player that I do Nightfalls, Lost Sector, stuff where champions exist and it matters what I use. I don't like how every season Bungie gets to decide what weapon gets to go in my inventory, right? I like Dead Man's Tale. I love Polaris Lance. Neither of them are in my inventory because neither of them are a champion mod this season. And that blows. Again, I know we just talked about the system, can't take too many perks, but there needs to be a way for players to just access all champion mods so they can bring whatever they want. Another great Forsaken Era feeling is that I could do 0 hour presage, or not 0 hour, or not presage, but I could do Whisper, 0 hour, whatever I wanted. I'd not have to bring a certain weapon. I could use whatever I wanted to. If I wanted to use Traveler's Chosen, fine, I can. It's not like that anymore, right? You have to bring certain weapons to places. Are they ever going to change this? Are they ever going to remove champion mods? Hell no, they built way too much around it. Like things like Ariana's with intrinsic anti-barrier, Aether's Embrace with intrinsic unstoppable. They've already built around that. They've made exotics. It's not. This is not going to change anytime soon. So again, I just want this to be universal, right? So I can play the way I want to play. Not going to happen. Other grievances, right? I'm so pissed because I muted myself. I actually said a lot, and I can't just remember off the top of my head, or not the top of my head, but I just can't recall. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. This game, like I said, play. Bungie wants you to play a way you want to. They want you to play the way Bungie tells you how to play, essentially, right? If you're doing nightfalls, raids, stuff like that. Because anytime I do Vault of Glass, I'm gonna have to bring an overload weapon unless I can. Well, on Legend you can kind of overpower them, but if I'm doing Master for some reason, you know, I'm gonna have to bring an overload weapon, or someone's gonna have to, right? Uh, just playing other games in general, Remnant from the Ashes, Risk of Rain. It is just liberating to be able to play the way you want to play. Like if I want to do something stupid, I can. This game, it's not like that. It's very. You need to do this in order to succeed. It's not very fun. Um, which brings me to like just spending money. The reason why I'm always on the fence about buying the 30th anniversary or buying Witch Queen and stuff like this is that I don't like the quality of the game. The currency of the game right now does not make me happy. And I'm not saying I as a sole person have to be happy and no one else can. No, I'm just saying me personally, Risk of Rain 2 has a DLC coming out March 1st. I'm going to buy that shit instantly. I'm not going to question it. Hopu Games, they made a great game, good community feedback. They interact with the community all the time. Love that game. Put like hundreds of hours in Risk of Rain 2. Not going to question buying DLC. Remnant from the Ashes, just picked it up. Like I stopped playing it, but I picked it up again. Already put like almost 100 hours into it. Very fun game. Base game alone, lots of fun. DLC just came, or summer sale on, or sorry, Steam sale, like the New Year sale. Bought all the DLC for Remnant from the Ashes. I'm not gonna question that choice because the game's fun. I enjoy it. Not gonna question this game. It's starting to become not starting. It's become a chore. It's not fun. So, for instance, the Eververse store. If Destiny 2 was instead of Risk of Rain, or you know, um, Remnant from the Ashes, I wouldn't question buying stuff from the shop. I wouldn't question buying DLC, but it's just the quality of their stuff. It's not good. Their track record post Forsaken hasn't been good. They made a lot of changes that I just don't like personally, and it just I don't feel like supporting them. Right? That's why you're like, why are you always on the fence? It's not that I can't afford $40. I can pay. I can buy the DLC. It's not the price that's the issue. It's just the quality of the game, the quality of the DLC. It's like I don't know, man. Um, and what really like opened my eyes to this shit is like look at Halo Infinite, man. It is shocking to see real time Destiny happening all over again. You have a company that is renowned. I'm talking about Halo Infinite here. Company that's renowned for like a game. I know 343 didn't originally. They were like a studio of Bungie, but then they took over after Bungie left Halo. Point is, they're known for making Halo, right? They made 4 through 5 and Infinite, all other crap, right? And Halo Wars 2. So like, okay, here we have a studio that's making another Halo game. We haven't had one for 6 years. That's great. Comes out bare bones as shit. Multiplayer's lacking basic features, core game modes, stuff that was in just in general stuff that was in launch of other games like Forge, Co-op, Split Screen, not in Halo Infinite. Just bare bones. A lot like Destiny 1, bare bones. The only reason they're alive right now is because they have the 343 name, they have the Halo name backing them up. The only reason Destiny 1 survived year one was because they were Bungie and they had Halo, and Taken King Taken King had to be as good as it was, or else that game was dead in the water, right? Modern gaming right now is that it's just frustrating modern gaming because everything that releases that's like a live service game or just releases just like half-assed. Like Call of Duty's bad. I mean I've never liked the game, but Call of Duty's bad. Battlefield, which I had my hopes for, complete ass. Halo Infinite, not in a good spot. Gameplay solid. Campaign, I mixed feelings, but it's fine, right? But it's ass. And then now they're going to sell fixing the game as them working towards like because again I see a lot of Halo players saying, oh well, they're listening to feedback and this and this. Let's be real here. They're going to right now like let's just take there's a lot of examples, but let's take King of the Hill, right? Guarantee you they're going to add back King of the Hill as an event. After the event's over, King of the Hill is going to become part of the game, and you're going to have, oh my god, 343's listening, they're doing good stuff. They basically created a problem and sold you the solution, right? That's what this game does as well. Destiny does as well. They create a problem, sell you the solution. It's ridiculous that them fixing the game is suddenly, oh, they're so and again, I'm not shitting on the developers. I know many of these problems come down to management. Someone who's worked, like, if you worked anywhere, you know every usually most of the problems come from management. So I'm not shitting on, Joe that works in desk number 12. I know it's not his fault. But the point is, it's like it just sucks. Like, just like Halo Infinite is made me realize that, man, this is like what Destiny is. They're taking shit that we already had, removing it from they're removing shit that we've had, and then selling it back to us. LMGs existed in Destiny 1, but they mysteriously disappeared in Destiny 2, and the only way you can get an LMG in Destiny 2, I believe there's a blue one now, but like pre-season of the Chosen, the only way you could get an LMG in Destiny 2 was if you bought Beyond Light, or if you had the Black Armory expansion, right? Because you only had Hammerhead, and then you had Commemoration. I believe Thunderlord was free though, so there you go. But the point is, like, again, taking something out and then selling it back to us. This game has a history of just selling crap. Gallahorn, technically, uh, we've all played for Gallahorn 3 times. Base game Destiny 1, Rise of Iron, which is actually, I like that expansion, and then this 30th anniversary. So, like, again, we've been resold the same weapon 3 times. I know it's different, and it's not the exact, but you get the point. So yeah, just modern gaming is really bad. And again, I'm holding Witch Queen to such a high standard because they said it's going to be like they can't. The story is going to be like Halo, Battlefield, and I've said this joke a million times, but if it's ass, they're gonna be like, well, actually, we said it's gonna be like Halo, but we actually meant like Halo 5 story. Point is, and I really hope the Witch Queen like twist isn't as dumb as it's all in her head, because the trailer's talking about like, oh, I count every bullet in the throne room. This is all in my mind and shit. Like, I'm assuming because the Lucent Brew don't exist anywhere except for the throne world, then okay, what the plot was that this is all in her head or some shit, whatever. Um, I know there's like a document that has like all the spoilers. I've not viewed that at all because again, I am curious about the story. But like I said, I'm holding Bungie to that standard because they were saying this is like the best thing ever. Anything else? Anything else? How long have I been going for? About like what, 30 minutes? Yeah, 30. Wow, 32. It's been longer than the other one. I think I've hit everything I wanted to talk about. I've already talked about core activities. Oh, legacy stuff. I don't think I mentioned this with the catalyst in this video in particular. Point is, we have a Legends tab with legacy content as the like subheader, subtitle, whatever. You're telling me you can't just throw 0 Hour, the other missions, Prestige, and stuff into this right here and have the raids on the side, like Eat of the Worlds, all this other stuff? I've already mentioned a million times that they said themselves that those missions are separate nodes. They are detached from the actual like planet themselves. So Whisper is not connected to IO. 0 Hour is not connected to like Earth. Don't know why they can't just throw all those missions in here. Whatever. Catalyst, Outbreak, Catalyst, Whisper, Catalyst are being thrown into strikes. Don't have an issue. I did not care that, oh, they have to do the heroic version. I just want the missions back so I can play them. I like those missions. They're never coming back. They have no reason to come back now because the Catalysts are in the game, or going to be in strikes. Fourth Horseman Catalyst, I was confused why it was even taken out because in Season 10, whatever, Season where the Fourth Horseman Catalyst you got from completing Legend Lost Sectors. Obviously, we still have Legend Lost Sectors. They took it out for some reason, and now instead of putting it into Legend Lost Sector loot pool, they're going to throw it into strikes. I guess most people like that as a positive. I personally farm Legend Lost Sector, so I don't really care. Um, I'm trying to really think. I've already mentioned blues, light level. Because I don't know. I don't want to redo this. I already talked about that. Core activities are lacking. I've already said that. I think I've hit everything. I think I've mentioned everything. So again, overall, I like Destiny. I don't want it to fail. I want it to be like Risk of Rain and Remnant, where I can just purchase the DLC and not pay it any mind and be like, "Oh, this is such a great game." And all. It's not like Bungie. It's not like that. The game is on the state like that right now. And there's a lot of issues again, PVE, PvP wise. And this game really does feel like a job. They need to overhaul bounties in the XP system, dude. I do not do bounties. They are way overdue of a rework. Um, and every time there's like an easy win or something, there's just a monkey paw, like a fuck you. Uh, I think I'm trying to remember here because I don't want anything else because it's probably my last like talking about this unless the TWAB on Thursdays like something really crazy. But I think, like I said, I'm going to Witch Queen with the expectation that I'm gonna be realistic. Is it gonna be like Forsaken? No. Bungie's working by themselves. It's not gonna be that long. But I genuinely hope Witch Queen's good because if it's not, I am perfectly fine with leaving this franchise. Like Warframe has taught me, just because I put a lot of time and money into a franchise, I can if I truly don't like it anymore, I can just walk away. Yet I'm not gonna do like a Meldra. Oh, woe is me. This game's not what it used to be. I quit. Like in thumb. No, I'll probably just say like my this is a Witch Queen review, and then at the end say okay, well, it's either I'll keep playing or like I'm done. But yeah, again, thank you for listening to me ramble for like 32 minutes. My mic is unmuted, so there's that. Oh, Tangled. Yeah, this is going away. Tangled Short's going away too. So I got another thing that's going to the vault. Just wanted to mention that. Don't know why I mentioned that. Broke the flow. But anyways, thank you for watching.